Captain Marcus Chun had faced death more times than he cared to count, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. The pristine corridors of the Zephyrian diplomatic vessel hummed with alien technology, their crystalline walls pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that hurt his eyes. He adjusted his formal uniform, the fabric tight across his scarred chest, and followed Ambassador Reeves toward the reception hall. "Remember, Captain," Reeves whispered, "Princess Lirelei is considered the most brilliant tactical mind of her generation. The Zephyrians have never lost a war, and she's personally responsible for their last 3 victories. Show respect, but don't grovel." Marcus nodded, his hand instinctively moving to his collar. The scar beneath his shirt seemed to burn against his skin, a reminder of humanity's first and nearly last encounter with the Vorthic Empire. 3 years ago, when everyone thought humanity would be nothing more than a footnote in galactic history. The massive doors slid open with a whisper, revealing a chamber that defied physics. The ceiling stretched impossibly high, filled with what looked like captured stars. Dozens of alien dignitaries from across the galaxy mingled into space, their various forms creating a tapestry of evolution's creativity. But Marcus's attention was immediately drawn to the figure standing at the chamber's center. Princess Lirelei was tall, even by Zephyrian standards, her luminescent blue skin marked with intricate silver patterns that seemed to shift in the light. Her 4 arms moved with elegant precision as she gestured to a holographic display showing star charts. Her large, multifaceted eyes reflected intelligence that had outmaneuvered some of the galaxy's greatest military minds. "Your Highness," Ambassador Reeves said as they approached, "may I present Captain Marcus Chun of the Terran Defense Force?" The princess turned, her expression politely curious. "Captain Chun, I have heard much about humanity's unique approach to warfare. Your species' reputation precedes you." Marcus offered a respectful bow. "The honor is mine, Your Highness, though I suspect our reputation is somewhat exaggerated." A sound that might have been laughter escaped from the princess's throat. "Modest as well. How refreshing." Her gaze swept over him appraisingly. "You know, Captain, when we first received reports of humanity's tactics against the Vorthic, our military analysts declared them impossible. No species could be that creative in their desperation. We prefer the term adaptive, Your Highness." Adaptive. She tasted the word. "Yes, I suppose ramming a cargo freighter into a Vorthic dreadnought at faster-than-light speeds could be called adaptive, as could turning asteroid mining equipment into siege weapons, or convincing an entire enemy fleet that a single damaged corvette was actually a cloaked battle group." Marcus felt heat rise to his cheeks. "We used what we had available." "Indeed." Her eyes glittered with something between amusement and respect. "I would very much like to hear your perspective on the Battle of Kepler 442. The official reports are sanitized. I'm afraid that's classified, Your Highness." "Of course. But perhaps—" She paused as Ambassador Reeves was called away by another dignitary. "Perhaps we could discuss it in more private circumstances. I find military theory fascinating, especially when it challenges conventional wisdom." Marcus found himself drawn into conversation with the princess, their discussion ranging from tactical innovations to the philosophy of warfare. Despite himself, he was impressed by her intellect and surprised by her genuine curiosity about human methods. As they talked, other guests gradually drifted away, giving them relative privacy in an alcove overlooking the ship's observation deck. "You fought at Kepler 442, didn't you?" she asked suddenly. Marcus hesitated. "I was there. Yes." The report said the human commander sacrificed himself to destroy the Vorthic command ship. They said he manually guided a damaged fighter through the enemy's shields. That's single quotes S. accurate. They also said his ship was already critically damaged, that he should have been dead long before he reached the target. Her voice grew quieter. They said the explosion from the command ship's destruction caught his fighter, but somehow he survived long enough to transmit the enemy's fallback coordinates to the rest of the human fleet. Marcus's jaw tightened. The reports are thorough. Show me. Your Highness, your scar. Show me his scar from Kepler 442. The request caught him off guard. Protocol demanded he refuse, but something in her tone, not curiosity, but something deeper, made him pause. Slowly, he loosened his collar and pulled aside his shirt, revealing the twisted mass of scar tissue that ran from his collarbone to his heart. Princess Liralay's reaction was immediate and startling. Her skin paled to an almost white luminescence, and she took a step backward, her forehands trembling. You dot, she whispered, her voice barely audible. You can't be real. Your Highness? The prophecy of the burning star, she said, her multifaceted eyes fixed on his scar. It speaks of a warrior who would bear the mark of stellar fire, who would survive death itself to bring salvation to the galaxy. We thought it was metaphor, ancient superstition, Marcus frowned. I don't understand. The pattern, she breathed, moving closer despite her obvious shock. The way the scar spreads across your chest, it matches exactly the constellation described in our oldest texts, the texts that speak of the coming of the star-touched one. Your Highness, I think there's been a misunderstanding. 3 years ago, our seers began reporting the same vision, she continued, her voice gaining strength. A species that would change everything, led by one marked by stellar fire. A people who would find victory not through superior technology or numbers, but through something our models could never account for. And what was that? She looked directly into his eyes. Hope. Impossible. Irrational. Beautiful hope. Marcus felt the weight of her gaze, the intensity of her belief. I'm just a soldier, Your Highness. I did what needed to be done. That, she said softly, is exactly what the prophecy said the star-touched one would say. A moment of silence stretched between them, broken only by the distant hum of the ship's engines. Finally, the princess straightened, her regal composure returning. Captain Chun, I believe it's time we discussed a formal alliance between our peoples. It seems the galaxy has more surprises in store than even our greatest minds anticipated. As Marcus watched her summon her advisors with graceful gestures, he couldn't shake the feeling that humanity's place in the galaxy had just shifted in ways he couldn't yet comprehend. The scar on his chest seemed to pulse with warmth, a reminder that sometimes survival was just the beginning of the story. The stars themselves, it seemed, had been waiting for humanity to take their place among them.